Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. It's Tori. Today we are going to be taking some pot shots at my Goodreads TBR. One of the things we always talk about here in the book community is the fact that everyone's TBR is like going to live longer than they are because there are so many books. There's so many books that we all want to read. There's so many new recommendations and we're inundated by new book ideas every single day on BookTube, on any of the social media platforms. It's a lot, right? It gets very overwhelming. So what I'm planning on doing is going into my Goodreads TBR because recently it's just been feeling a little bit much, right? So I have cataloged my entire physical and ebook library that I own, and I have a lot of books, first of all, but there's a lot of books on my Goodreads TBR that I don't own. And while I do want to read a lot of them, I think I need to be realistic about how much time I have to read in the next few years. And, you know, I don't really love that my TBR is 8 to 9 years long at this point. So we are going to go through Goodreads and we are going to pull off books that are on my Goodreads TBR and see if we can get that number down a little bit. All right, guys, we are in my Goodreads Want to Read section, and it is 669 books long, which is a lot, right? So what I would like to do today is I would like to go through and remove any of the books that I'm just not really feeling excited about. If it's not something that's high up on the TBR, I'm going to take it off. That doesn't mean that I won't read it at some point. It just means that I'm going to have to think about it more in order to come back to it later, which I think is a better approach for me, maybe. Because if it's something that I take off of my TBR and then forget about for ever, then I think there are other books that are more deserving of my time. So the one other caveat to this, though, is that I do have a whole bunch of bookshelves set up within my TBR, and one of those is my physical and Kindle TBR reads. So I will not be taking those off unless I get to one that I'm like, you know what, I'm just really not feeling it, and then I'll have a book I can physically unhaul as well, which will be great. But 669 books is too many. So starting on page 1, you know, I think we're going to sort this by date added, and we're going to go the opposite way. So the books that have been on my TBR the longest, and a lot of these I do have physically. Let's see, there's so many. I feel so overwhelmed just looking at this list, and that is why we're doing this today. If you feel overwhelmed by your TBR, it's okay to get rid of some. It's okay. The bone ships, you know, the bone ships I've gone back and forth on, honestly. We're going to start at number 1 on my TBR. This is one that I've had recommended to me personally that a lot of people think I will really enjoy. I don't own it yet. I've really gone back and forth on this one. I do really want to read it though, so I think we're going to leave that one on for now. Oh, here's one right away. Okay, so Green Rider by Kristen Britton. I do want to read. I think that's one that I might want to think about again. Like I might take it off my TBR, and if I come across it again and I'm like, oh yeah, you know, I really want to read that. But I do feel like classic fantasy is something that I only have the headspace for very few and far between reads. So I think I'm actually going to take that one off of my TBR. Now, one thing that Goodreads does that drives me nuts is that it puts you back at the top of the page, which like is kind of a first world problem, but it is annoying. Shadow of the Wind I own. See, Howl's Moving Castle. That is one that I don't own yet, but I do really want to read the book because it is one of my favorite animated films. Excuse me, I'm still getting over a cold, so I apologize for all of the throat clearing. 6 Sacred Swords, Weapons and Wielders. This is another one that, like, I don't know if it's something that I'm gonna actually get to. And that's the thing. I want to pare down this TBR so that I am really focused on the books that I'm most excited about. I think we're going to take that one off too, you guys. I do want to try Andrew Rowe as an author soon. And then I'll kind of get a feel for whether or not he's going to be an author that I jive with. Here's one we can take off really easily. A Hero Born by Jin Yang. I actually taste tested recently and was not a fan of the storytelling style. It was basically like I was reading a shonen anime, but like it was so over the top. And I really appreciate that that is a long-standing storytelling style. And very cultural. I just personally, if I'm gonna read a shonen anime, I'd rather just watch one, if that makes sense. Yeah, that one I didn't really jive with how the story was being told. Rump, the True Story of Rumpelstiltskin. This is one I think that's a middle grade that I've had on here for a really long time that I do really want to read, especially because right now I'm constantly looking for books that are well written within middle grade and young adult that I can hand to my kids, because I have middle grade readers right now. And so I'm always looking for books that will still challenge them in terms of the way the story is written. It will ask them to think critically about certain things, but also just tell a really good story without being heavy-handed in its themes. So I think I want to leave that one, because I do really want to read that. All right, we've made it to page 2, guys. We're really rolling here. The Boy, the Mole, the Fox, and the Horse. I think I'm going to take off my TBR because I will read it at some point. It's my daughter's like favorite book from the library that she's gotten this last year. So that one's going to definitely come across my path, and I don't feel like I need to put it on my TBR specifically. City of Brass. This is one that I've wanted to read for so long, and my library has it. So eventually I will probably just borrow it and read it. I don't know how I'm going to feel about it, but that's one that's been intriguing to me since it came out. Long Road Home, Testimony of a North Korean Camp Survivor. That's another one that I want to add to my collection of memoirs about that specific issue. Count of Monte Cristo, Crown Tower. Let's see. First Wave, D-Day Soldiers Who Led the Way to Victory. You know, I think this is another one I'm going to take off, because while this sounds really fascinating, I do have some World War II books on my shelf already that I own, and I don't know that I want to add a whole bunch more, because that's something that I do really space out is books about World War II. It's a time period that I'm interested in, but not as much as I'm interested in other periods of history. So I think I'm going to focus on the ones that I have on my shelves already. The Penguin Book of Japanese Short Stories. If I'm being totally honest here, I'm not a short story fan usually, and I do have some short story collections already on my shelves, so I think we're going to take that one off too. We've already gotten rid of 6 books, you guys. I'm so excited about it. I would love to get down to like 500 or less. That would be awesome, especially since I think almost 300 of the books on this list I own. That's still a lot, but it's better than it is right now. Also, I think I'm going to take off, well, no, I do want to leave that one on. I do have a lot of North Korean defector memoirs on my list, because that's obviously something I've been really interested in researching and learning about this last couple of years. Living Reed, A Novel of Korea. Pearl Buck is an author that I read in college, and I do really want to read another book of hers. Our Happy Time. Court Dancer. Yeah, Up from Slavery. I think I read that back in college. I do still want to read that. Booker T. Washington is a really interesting historical figure, and I do really want to read that book. Letters to a Young Poet. I don't know. That one, I think that one I'll take off. If it comes across my radar again, I'll pick it up, but I don't feel like I need to read that. Children of Huron. I do want to read this. But I kind of want to take it off my TBR, weirdly, because I want to get through just the Lord of the Rings at this point. If I'm desperate for more Middle-earth content after that, I can always go back. Okay, moving to page 3. You guys, we're doing so well. Jacob Peppers, I think I'm going to take off. Not because I don't want to read a book of his, but I have heard that he puts out a lot of books very quickly. And while that's not obviously something that should be villainized in any way, shape, or form, I personally tend to get a little suspicious of that they're going to be not necessarily bad books, but that they just might not be as like deep of a read as I'm looking for. So I think I'm going to take that off. Dreams of the Dying, Waking Fire. Very excited to read more Anthony Ryan. Chains of Blood by M.L. Spencer. So M.L. Spencer is obviously very well known for writing her book Dragon Mage, which is quite popular. I do want to read something else by her, and I didn't realize that she had written another series. So I definitely want to check that one out. The Whale Road, Sons of Darkness, King's Bargain, Nothing to Envy. There's so many books, you guys. And I keep seeing these and I've forgotten about them. I'm like, oh, I really want to read this. I think I'm going to take The Whale Road off. I think that one's more of a Norse-inspired book, and I don't know. I'm not in the mood for that right now. Maroda, Justice of Kings, Grace of Kings, This Present Darkness. I will probably read at some point. I tried reading it years and years and years ago, and it's kind of a fantasy horror, but it's based heavily in the Christian faith and supernatural. I do really want to read it. I just don't know when. I'll probably leave it on for now. Okay. Kindred Spirits. Lots of Malazan. I definitely will try another Guy Gavriel Kay book. I read Lions of Al-Rassan this year and enjoyed his writing style quite a bit and what he does with his character development. I didn't love some of the extra elements of the story, and I think he should be banned from writing spicy scenes because he's absolute rubbish at it. Yeah, I think I'm going to leave Sailing to Sorrentium on for now. I don't know that I'll be coming back to Guy Gavriel Kay in the near future. I don't know. I just have so many other things to read that, like, I don't know. King's Ranger by A.C. Cobble. I have Conspiracy by A.C. Cobble on my shelves, so I think I'm going to take the other ones off by him until I've read Conspiracy, because that's the one that I'm most interested in reading of his. Let's see. Winter Road. I've taken this on and off my TBR so many times. I think we're just gonna take it off. Winter Road by Adrian Selby. I think we're just gonna take that one off because I don't know. Let's see. The Abyss Beyond Dreams, Peter Hamilton. Soul's Aspect by Mark Holloway. I still really want to read. I have the Kindle version of that. Memoirs of Lady Haekyung. Okay, moving on to page 5. We're rolling, you guys. Okay, Court of Assassins by Philip Quaintrell. I own Rise of the Ranger. And that's the thing, is with a lot of these books, I want to try a book from the author before I add a whole bunch of stuff from them to my TBRs. If I read it and I absolutely love it, then I think I should go back and add more books from them to the TBR, because until I know, do I like this author? Am I going to be interested in picking up not just one, but 2 series from them? Like, that's a big commitment. So I think we're going to just pull that one. Just try Bloodlines, which I still really want to read. Expert Systems Brother by Adrian Tchaikovsky. I have so many Tchaikovsky books on my TBR. Birth of the 10th Legion for Roman history. Wolf Eater. Helicopter Parenting in the Age of Drone Warfare. Yeah, that one, I don't know. Okay, we're just going to leave it for now. Duel at Broken Furniture Inn. Okay, I'm going to take that one off because I also have Touch of Murder by J.F. Lee. These two are by the same author. I read one from this author that I didn't end up keeping, but I do really want to read the Tales of the Magistrate series, because those are like short novellas about a magistrate in Korean history who is solving murders, and I love that idea. But I think Duel at Broken Furniture Inn I'm going to take off. Maybe, oh, I own that one on Kindle. Meh. I'll leave it for now because I own it on Kindle. All right, next page. The Builders. Oh my gosh, every time I see this book, I know so Daniel, who's one of my audience members, has been like, Tori, I need you to read The Builders. Tori, I need you to read The Builders for like 2 years. I forget about it, and then I see it on the list, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I still haven't read that yet. It's gonna happen. I should add it to my priority reads for 2026. There's a lot of physical books on this side. Okay, Kindred, I do want to read. Tycho. What is this even about? We're gonna open that in a new tab, and we are going to check this out because I don't remember. Let's see. 926 pages. Oh boy. Oh, it's another story about Nobunaga. Okay, so this is kind of, let's see. This is kind of in the same vein as Shogun, with some of the same characters and time periods from what I can tell. It was written in the 1940s. Oh, man. Shogun was an incredible book. Do I want to read more? Oh, boy, guys. This is tough. I don't know. I'm going to leave it for now. The Last Lifeboat I literally added to my TBR only because of the cover, which I will post over the screen here. Because that cover is amazing. And I'm very curious about it. It sounds like it's like a survival story, which I do enjoy. And it's not fantasy, and that's something that I've been trying to add a few books to my TBR that aren't fantasy because I do want to avoid getting burned out on fantasy, which I've been feeling a little bit of lately, honestly. I still love fantasy, but every once in a while I want to break and I want to read something else, you know? Tenant of Wildfell Hall by Bronte. Mike Mullman's Becoming a Druid. There's so many good books on here. Taipan by James Clavell I still own. Yeah, I think we'll go on to the next page. Okay. The Great Heart. What is some of these books I don't even remember adding to the TBR list. Young adult. What? I don't remember adding this. I'm going to take it off the TBR because I don't remember adding it to the list. I'm sure I did for a very important reason, but I think we're going to take that one off. In the Sky. Lies of the Ajongo I really want to read by Utomi. Jungle Planet I have on my Kindle. Nagasaki, Life After Nuclear War. Oh boy. Yeah, I think I want to leave that. Headlock of Destiny, Titan Wars #1. I don't remember that at all. It's like a treasure hunt, you guys. What is this book about? Oh, that's, well, hello, Samuel. But I actually wanted to look at your book, so I clicked on the wrong thing. Titan Wars. Titans are descended from giants. Others say they are risen from men. Interesting. Professional wrestling meets epic fantasy. That's why I added it to my list. That is going to be... Oops. That is going to be fun. Okay. I'm not going to explain myself. I just think that sounds like fun. Okay. Dita Paxtonarian, Malevolent 7. This one I've gone back. I've almost purchased the Malevolent 7 like 4 or 5 times, and I just haven't. So I think I'm going to take that off my TBR, actually. I do still want to read it, but I don't know. Like, if I come across it again in the future and I'm like, oh, I really want to read that, I'll add it again. But okay. Black Sun Rising. Oh, I have that on my physical TBR. Why is that not listed? There we go. White Knight Black Swan by Ross Harding. This is written by... This is a pseudonym for another author name, and I cannot remember... Oh, David Gemmell. Yeah. And it's a thriller crime book that he wrote in the 1990s. And I really want to try that. Because I thought, David Gemmell writing Thrime Kriller? Wow, I just said Thrime Kriller, you guys. I'm tired today. Crime thriller. I didn't even realize I did that for a full, 10 seconds. Okay, we're leaving that. Homeland, Woman of the Sword. Moving on. Ghost on the Throne, The Death of Alexander the Great and the War for Crown and Empire. You know, that sounds good. Reality is, I probably won't get to that for a long time. Forgotten Legion, Ben Kane. I have another Roman history one on here. I think I'm going to take that one off too, just because I'm not going to read a ton of Roman history books, and I'd rather just... A Cast of Stones. What is that? I don't know if you guys are like this. I legitimately don't remember adding these books. Let's see. Christian fiction. Do I know the person that wrote this, or did I meet them? I don't know. I'm going to take that one off my TBR. There may be regret after this. I don't know. But for now, we're good. Okay, Julia's House for Lost Creatures is by one of my favorite picture book authors who wrote Nobody Likes a Goblin, which you guys should all read because it is the most adorable thing. I love it so much. Let's see, physical reads. So a lot of these are physical on my shelves. A Drink Before We Die. Another one by the author of The Builders. The Blackhawks. Hunters. Okay, which of these two do I want to read more? Probably the Hunters. So I'm going to take the Blackhawks off my TBR. Again, like we talked about before, I want to make sure that I enjoy the author with one of their series before I commit to two. Remote Control by Nadia Korafor I still want to read. Rebirth, Reign and Ruin for my Spiffbo reads, Spiffbo winter reads. Blade of Dream. Okay, I'm going to take Blade of Dream off my TBR, not because I'm not going to read it by Daniel Abraham, but because I own the first book, so I'm not entirely sure why I need to have the second book on my TBR. That's another thing I've noticed that I start doing is I'll be like, oh, I need to add the second and third book of the series to my TBR, and I haven't even read the first one yet. It's like, no, I don't. It's just taking up extra space. We don't need that. Okay, Fire Upon the Deep. That was a sci-fi book that I added, I think. This Tender Land by William Kent Kruger, which I still want to read. I've read 2 of his other books so far. All right, all of my S.E. Hinton books, which I still want to read. Spiderlight by Adrian Tchaikovsky, I do want to read. Did I say I wanted to write them? I want to read them. You know what I meant. Fractured Soul, Honeybees and Distant Thunder, Fingerbone by Takahashi. Okay. This Out by Natsuo Kirino I'm going to take off because I do have a bunch of translated Japanese books that I already own, so I'm just going to take that off for now. Sometimes I go through like lists on the internet of, hey, here's a whole bunch of translated Japanese books, and then I just want to add them all to the TBR so I don't forget about them, but I think I'm cool with letting that one go. River in Darkness, Spark of the Divine I want to read. Poisonwood Bible by Barbara Kingsolver. I'm still iffy on that one. I don't know if I'll get to that. I think I'm actually going to take that off my TBR. Not because I don't intend on potentially reading one of her books at some point, but I don't know that I need it on my TBR. We're getting there, guys. I think we're like a third of the way through. We're already down to 647 books on the TBR, so that's 22 books we've taken off. Right? Yes. I can math. Make Me No Grave. Sergeant Reckless, America's War Horse. I do want to read. A Fine Balance. I don't know what some of these books are, you guys. I don't recognize this one. Oh, this is from 1975 historical fiction set in India. I think I'm going to leave that one on. I do want to read that one. Oh, here's a bunch of manga that I wanted to read. I think I'm going to take Ashita no Jo off of my TBR because I can't find it hardly anywhere. And that's going to frustrate me. So we're just going to take that off. Sparrow I want to read. The Dark Mirror by Juliette Marillier. Brede Chronicles I want to read. White Darkness by David Grann. He wrote The Wager that I really enjoyed. Zero Boxer, yeah, this is all physical. Tainted Cup is also on my physical TBR, so why is that not on its correct shelf? This is also a good organizing exercise, apparently. Let's see, How Green is a physical reads. Dream of the Red Chamber, an epic story of women's lives in Imperial China. I do want to read that. I have a couple other books that kind of... I'm going to take that one off, because I do have a couple other books that I think fall into that same category. One of which I actually own. The Hallows I want to read. J.A. Andrews I want to read. Gates of the Alamo I can take off because I unhauled that recently. Gates of Fire, Pearl of China. Let's see. Blah, 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 blah. Physical, TBR. Okay, we're going to take all those down. Oh, this one I also unhauled. I can take that off. All right, back down to... next page. Page 13. A lot of physical TBR reads, so we can just kind of scroll down slowly. First Chronicles of Dress the Legend. I unhauled that. Not that I won't read more David Gemmell at some point, but I have some stuff of his on my shelves. Be Frank With Me I can take off because I unhauled that. All sorts of things we're getting off of our TBR. It feels amazing. This one I unhauled, 3 by Ted Decker. Dodger, Captain Blood, Les Miserables. Okay. Hunchback of Notre Dame. Funny Story by Emily Henry. I am taking off my TBR. I've read 2 Emily Henry books now, and I am not going to read another one. Never say never, but I'm not going to read another one. Let's see. Kindle TBR. So this is a lot of stuff that I own on my Kindle or on my shelves. So we can scroll mostly completely down. Yep, we can get rid of all, or we can jump to the next page. Kindle TBR. Oh boy, I have so many on my Kindle TBR, you guys. Why do I have Rain and Ruin on here twice? That's weird. Can you... Okay, I'm going to take that off because I don't know why it's on here twice. All right, these are all physical. Billy Summers I think I'm going to take off for now. Not because I don't want to read it, and I do still own the book. I'm waffling on whether or not I'm going to unhaul it. I just don't know that I'm going to get to another Stephen King book for a while. Legacy of Brick and Bone, Flames Over Frosthelm. This is a lot of Kindle stuff. Blood Runs Gold, Firelight and Frost. So many books, you guys. Unbonded. Did I keep that? I think I did. The Pilgrim books by Harmon Cooper I did unhaul, so I'm going to take that one off. All Kindle. Okay, moving on. That was easy. Say Nothing, A True Story of Murder and Memory in Northern Ireland, which is a book I ran across completely by accident in Barnes & Noble, and I was like, this sounds absolutely fascinating. Let's see. Lost City of Z, A Tale of Deadly Obsession in the Amazon. I think I'm going to take that off. Kate Elliott's Black Wolves, Rebecca, Shards of Earth, lots of KJ Parker, Terry Pratchett. Okay, this is a lot of physical TBR stuff, and most of this I'm going to want to read. Kindle TBR, Whale by Myung-Kwan Cheon. Raptor Red I do want to try. That one I think is kind of a middle grade young adult-ish about kind of in the spirit of the movie Dinosaur a little bit, but like for all of us who loved reading dog stories back in the like 1990s. If anybody knows Jim Kelgard, yeah, I think this one is kind of for that audience based on what I know of it. I have the Tainted Cup on here twice too. Guys. And this is the actual correct... I'll fix that later. All right, 17, page 17, Art and Fear, Beethoven. This is one that I was recommended by my friend Josh at Red Fury Books, because I am interested in musical history a little bit, and he said that that was a good one, if I remember correctly. Angela's Ashes, Journey into the Whirlwind, Ginsburg. I think that's a World War II. I think I'm going to take that one off too. World War II is an era that, again, like, I want to read some, but I don't want to overburden my TBR with it. Frozen River I really want to get. I'll probably buy that at some point in the near future. 8 Lives of a Century-Old Trickster. Mermaid from Jeju. A lot of Korean stuff on this page. Star of the North by D.B. John. That one I think, well, I want to read all these. That's my problem. Fox Girl I'm going to take off because I did unhaul that off of my Kindle. Mark of Kings by Bryce O'Connor. Okay. Page 18. Child of the Day Star, Wings of War. Shadows of Ivory. Let's see. The Watch That Ends the Night by Hugh McLennan. I don't remember why I added that. Why did I add that, guys? You know... Okay, this is yeah, I don't know. I'm going to take that one off my TBR for now. If there's any of these down in the comments that you guys are like, oh my gosh, I think you personally would love this book, put it back on your TBR, let me know. Because I would love to know you guys' thoughts. Way Up is Death, Mother of Learning. I can take The Prisoner of Azkaban off because I have Chamber of Secrets on here already. And we talked about second and third and fourth books in series not needing to be on the TBR. Pride and Prejudice, Major Domo, a novella, Prophet of a Dan, Tail Chaser's Song by Tad Williams I want to read. This one I have in my physical TBR now, so I need to add that. Page 19, Mind of the Maker, Endless Night, Winnie the Pooh. I am currently reading. I think I can take that off my TBR. I'm currently reading it with my youngest daughter. Given Day, 13th Tale, Call for the Dead, The Doll Makers. Yeah, I do want to read those. Okay, Wood at Midwinter, Mourner's Bestiary, which sounds fascinating. Sophie's World. What is this? This is a Norwegian translated book. That's why I have it on here. I do want to read that. I'm going to take Animal Farm off my TBR, because it's not that I won't read it at some point, but, like, I don't know that I'm really invested at this point, you know? Sweet Silver Blues by Glenn Cook. Let's see. The Ghost Woods by C.J. Cook. I don't know what that is either. Let's check it out. In the midst of the woods stands a house called Lichen Hall. The place is shrouded in folklore. It's gothic fantasy / historical fiction. Oh, interesting. Pearl Gorham arrives in 1965, one of a string of young women sent to Lichen Hall to give birth, and she and she soon suspects the proprietors are hiding something. Unpicking the City. Oh, that sounds really good. I don't remember putting this on my list, but I'm intrigued. I'm leaving it. That sounds interesting. Let's see. That's a lot of physical books. Homeseeking by Carissa Chen. So many books. What My Bones Know by Stephanie Fu. I think that one I'm going to take off. Uh-oh. It's not going to let me. It doesn't want me to take this off of my... Uh-oh, guys. I don't know why, but I can't take it off the TBR. I guess it's staying. Quarryland by F.L. Rosenthal. Some of these, I think I'm just going to have to take some time to go back into my TBR and just look up some of the books that I don't remember as much. Mark of the Fool, Reformatory, I do want to read. Sweetness at the Bottom of the Pie. Usagi Yojimbo, Volume 1. The Hammer by K.J. Parker. Japan's 16th Century Invasion of Korea, An Attempt to Conquer China. Sleeping Woman. So many good books, you guys. Human Acts. The Guest. I don't even remember. I know I added these because they were on a list of translated books. I'm going to take Crying in H Mart off. Why? I don't know. Just vibes. If We Were Villains, I think I'm going to take off my TBR. I just don't know that it's something I'm going to get to. Okay, we're going to leave all that. And we're going to go to page 22, The War of the Austrian Succession. Sometimes, I don't know if you guys are like this, but sometimes I go down a rabbit hole of like historical research and then I'm just in the mood to read all about it and then I add it to my TBR. And whether or not I will actually ever get to that book is up in the air, really. Stalingrad, Fateful Siege. Welcome to the Hunamdong Bookshop. I do want to read that one still. Into the Wild. Monster in the Hollows, I'm going to take off my TBR because I have read that. I don't know why it's still on the TBR. Spy Family 14. Dragon Prince by Melanie Ron, I still want to read. Wrath by Sharon Moellem. Shards of Honor, Inheritance of Magic, Forgotten Dawn, Crimson Fire. Okay, so a lot of these are Kindle reads. So we're going to move on to page 23. Worst Hard Time, Untold Story of Those Who Survived the Great American Dust Bowl. That's another history rabbit hole TBR ad. You know, I do want to, that does sound really interesting. I don't know. I'll take it off. I'll take it off. Because reality is I don't know that I'm going to get to it in any sort of timely fashion. Tears of the Fallen, Memories of the Day. The Walking Drum by Louis L'Amour, Sackett's Land. I did go through and research some of the best Louis L'Amour books, so I do want to read those. Retribution Falls. Dear Leader, Poet, Spy, and Escapee. I have that one. Lots of North Korean memoirs. Rise of the Automated Empire, Final Assembly. Yeah, I think I'm good with all of that. All right. A whole bunch of C.S. Lewis essays. Doors of Eden, Bear Town, I own now, so I'm going to put that in physical TBR. Deal of a Lifetime, Harold by Rob J. Hayes. I don't know. I have so many Rob J. Hayes books. I think I'm going to take this one off because I actually own quite a few of his books and I want to start with those. So we're going to take that off for now. Letters from Father Christmas, This Afterlife. Okay, all physical TBR. So we're going to move on to page 25. I can change Demon in White now. That is not a physical TBR. That is a Kindle TBR read. I do not own it physically anymore. Again, I haven't read Leviathan's Wake yet, so I'm going to take Caliban's War, The Expanse #2, off my TBR because I don't need to have book 2 on there at this point. Watership Down, I do really want to read. Long Time Gone. This one I ended up unhauling, The Empress Dowager Cixi. We're going to take that off. Land of the Living and the Dead I'm going to take off because I do own it, but I haven't read the second book yet, so I need to just have the second book on here. Sheep Farmer's Daughter, Magic's Pawn. All of that stuff is physical TBR. Okay. We are going to move on to page 26. Strange the Dreamer, The Bluest Eye. Lots of Kindle reads. Oh, I can take that off Kindle because I own it physically now. The Forsaken Planet by Brian Wilson, who is one of my fellow authors in the Honor Anthology, which you guys should check out. I will leave a link to the Kickstarter down below because we only have, I think, 6 days left of the Kickstarter now, so don't forget to grab your copy. 22 amazing indie authors who have all brought their best for you guys. Sci-fi, fantasy, and the range in this short story collection, you guys, is incredible. I'm so excited to read it. I have only read one of the stories besides mine, and it's phenomenal, but I can't wait to read everybody else's. So that's my short advertisement for you guys. Strength of the Few, I'm going to take off my TBR because I haven't read Will of the Many yet. So there's no reason for me to have book 2 on this list. There's just no reason. Shadow of Wolves, Hallowed Haunt, I do still kind of want to read. Sunder, I think I'm going to take... So this Janji Jug Dogja Sejum #1, I don't know why that's on here if I was trying to add Omniscient Reader's Viewpoint, which I have book 2 now. I don't know if that's a different series. I don't think that's a different series. I'm tired. My pronunciation of that was awful. I apologize. To the Lighthouse I own The Warrior Heir by Cinda Williams Shima. I think I'm going to take off because I don't know that I'm going to get to that one. Let's see. In Cold Blood by Truman... Is it Capote? I think I'm going to take that one off too. I'm just not feeling it. All right, moving on to page 27. We're down to 31 pages of books, you guys. Okay, these are a bunch of... Oh, what are these? A Month in the Country. What is this? I don't know. Poetic novel, a veteran of the Great War in a broken marriage arrives in the remote Yorkshire village where he is set to restore a recently discovered mural in the local church. Ah, yes. I do want to read this one. That sounds really interesting. Okay. Grandma Gatewood's Walk, the inspiring story of the woman who saved the Appalachian Trail. I own. Essays After 80 by Hall Donald. I think I'm going to take that one off. That does sound like a really interesting book. I just don't know realistically if I'm going to get to it. Kingdom of Liars by Nick Martell. Tempest Rising. The Benevolent Society of Ill-Mannered Ladies. First of all, that title alone. I'm reading it because I love the title. That's amazing. And I think it's kind of an Austen era story. Very excited about that one. A couple more Patricia McKillop books that I want to try. Kate Elliott, Immortality Thief. In Different Stars Above, the harrowing saga of a Donner Party bride. What are these books that I added? First Heavy in early December 14. Oh, this is like a pioneer survival. Oh, okay. Yep, I do want to read that one. That one sounds interesting. We're going to leave that. Hang Sung? There we go. Valley Massacre, Command to Collapse or Cover Up. That one doesn't have any reviews, you guys. I have a book on here that doesn't have a single review. I think I'm going to leave it just because I want to read it. I want to be the first one. That's always fun. Embers of War. The Prefect. This was me adding some sci-fi, I think. Yep. Vada's War by Elizabeth Moon. Fortunes of Captain Blood. Hapax I feel like I've read. I thought I'd read that. I don't know. Auxiliary Justice. Unclean Spirits. MLN Hanover. I'm trying to remember whose pseudonym this is. This is another one that's like... Who is this? It's a YA that I was recommended, but I cannot for the life of me remember whose pseudonym that is. I think I'm going to take that one off. I just don't see myself getting to that one. The Hunter, Locklemore and the Bottled Serpent, I need to read. Imaginary Corpse. Clergyman's Wife, a Pride and Prejudice novel. I think that one is about Mrs. Collins. Okay, moving on to page 29. I already have Howl's Moving Castle on this list. I do not need it twice. I do love that edition, though. Valley Forge is a lot of the stuff I just bought while we were out in South Dakota. Let's see, Killing of Crazy Horse, Saddle of Thunderbolt I'm going to take off because I will probably read it, but I don't need it on my TBR. Titan's Nest. Frostheart, Service Model by Adrian Tchaikovsky. The Lady Astronaut, that one I'm really excited to check out. That one's going to be great. Let's see, the Silo Saga. I've gone back and forth on that so many times. I think I'm just going to take it off my TBR because, like, the amount of back and forth has been insane. Scorpio Races, I think I'm also going to take off my TBR because I think I'm going to read The Raven Boys instead. I've had that on my Kindle for ages. Next, Soul Cage by L.R. Schultz. Brave New World. I don't know if I have the brain space or the emotional space for Brave New World right now, to be honest. So I think we're just going to take that off. That's fine. Sweet Bean Paste, I think I have on my Kindle. I'm pretty darn sure that I have that on my Kindle, so we're going to add that. Sharps by K.J. Parker. Sins of Steel and Shadow. I feel like I have that on my Kindle, too. Flowers Have Teeth, I definitely have on my Kindle. That is a short story by my friend K.E. Andrews, another indie author. City of Mist and Tears and the City of Sun and Stars. I am going to take the City of Sun and Stars off my TBR because it is a book too, and I haven't read the first book yet. Oh my gosh, you guys, do you think we can get to 600? We're at 609 right now. That would be amazing. Omniscient Reader's Viewpoint Volume 2 I have now. I just got it yesterday because I pre-ordered it. So that I have in my physical TBR. Hogfather, Goodbye Cat. Let's see, Quest for Kieta. Sounds amazing. The Bell Jar by Sylvia Plath. That's on my Want to Read Classics. Darson Gilead. Apothecary Diaries. Okay. Moving to the last page. I don't know if we're going to get down to 600, but that would be amazing. Okay, let's see. The Man Who Came Out of Town. The Naming. Books of Pelennor. I just got the first book of that from a very generous patron. Cold Day from Murder, Housekeeping, The Airfare, City on Fire. Okay, you guys. We got through all 669 books, and we took 60 books off my TBR. I was hoping for a few more than that, but this was kind of a round one, and I feel pretty solid because that was a lot. We got a lot off of the TBR, and my goal this last year was to get my want to read much lower of a number than my already read books, which it now is because my count of read books on Goodreads is 677. So yeah, I don't know. I feel a lot better about this. Let me know down in the comments if you think I made a massive mistake taking one of these books off of my TBR. Let me know. And let me know what your TBR looks like. If you have one, and if you keep track of it, let me know how many books you have and how long you think it's going to take you to read them all. Because it's a problem for all of us here in the book community for the most part, where it's a TBR mountain. But I do feel a little bit better about it, and it feels like a weight off to get some of this cleaned up. And to be honest about some of the books that I think I will and won't read, I think that's helpful. So anyways, thank you for coming along with me on this Goodreads TBR audit and unhauling a bunch of these books from my TBR. I hope you enjoyed. If you enjoy my content, give a like to the video and a subscribe because I'd love to have you stay around on my little corner of the internet. And I hope that you are having a great week. I hope that you are reading some 5-star reads, and I will see you in the next video.